for the squeaky chair. It's like super squeaky. But
today, this is going to be a very hard topic for me. But today I'm going to talk about postpartum. And yeah, okay. I did have postpartum depression after I had my son. So for those of you that are pregnant or just had a baby and are going through postpartum, I do want to tell you guys that you are doing the best that you can do, you know. So when I had my son, like the day I brought him home, I don't know, like I felt so happy that I had him, but I felt that I wasn't good enough for him. And I didn't get postpartum like bad to the point where I wanted to leave him. I just got it bad to the point where I was bashing on myself. And like every day I would sit in like the bathtub, or like when I would take a shower, I would just bawl my eyes out. Or when I'm not near him and I was in the room, or when he was asleep, I would just like cry while he's sleeping. You know, I just felt like I was a failure. And the reason why was because at the moment I didn't have a job, and I just felt like I'm a mother, I should provide for him. Like, you know, like all these things hit me at once. And I had this beautiful son right in front of me, and I just wanted to give him the world, you know, and I still do. Me back for 4 months, and I was bashing on myself. Like I didn't have a job, you know. I was doing like Instacart and Postmates here and there. And then I tried to look for a job, but it was hard being away from my son. And then, you know, a few months went by, like my postpartum ended up going away. Like I had a lot of supporters, like families telling me like, Lexi, you're being too hard on yourself, you know. And I wasn't ready to have a kid. That's the honest truth. But I found a way, you know. I feel that most mothers aren't ready to have kids, but as a woman, we are made to do this. So we find a way to make it work. And I wasn't thinking that positive at that moment, you know. One day, maybe like when my son was 3 months and a half, I was sitting down crying in the bed, and he was laying next to me. He woke up and he like rolled over towards me. I picked him up because I thought like maybe he was having a hard time falling asleep. And when I held him, like he put his arms around me, and he woke up and looked at me and just smiled, and then laid his head back down. I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe I am doing the best I can, you know. I knew I was, like I was trying, you know. I just wanted to give him the world. And I just want to say this for any parent, guardian, any mothers, any fathers, everybody that has kids in their life that they're taking care of, realize that no matter what, you are doing the best that you can do. And just because you don't have a job doesn't mean that you're a failing mother. You know, you could do Postmates, you could do DoorDash, you could still make it work. And that was something that I wasn't able to see at that moment. You know, there's like right now, my son, he is currently 9 months, and there's some times where he just looks at me, smiles, and like puts his head towards me and just gives me a kiss. And I'm just like, and it makes me feel good, you know. And I'm not like depressed now, but a few months ago, I did get a job with DirecTV, and it was very, very, very hard. I was full-time, and I started kind of falling into postpartum. Like I loved the job, but I started falling back into postpartum because it just wasn't for me. Like, I barely got to see my son. Like, I literally came home and he would go to sleep, and I would leave work so early that I wasn't able to see him. And it was affecting me heavy to the point where I felt like, well, when the day he starts crawling or the day he starts walking, I won't even be able to see that, you know? And it really affected me heavy. But for the mothers out there that are struggling right now, just know that you are doing an amazing job. And I give you all props for that, you know? It's definitely not easy, especially if you have 1 kid, 2 kids, 3 kids, you know, but you're making it work. You're finding ways to make it work. You're finding ways to have money to provide for your kid, you know. Yeah, the main reason why I fell into postpartum was because for like about 4 or 3.5 months before I had my son, I actually miscarried with twin boys, and it was something that was hard on me, but I learned to accept it because I feel that, me personally, I believe in God, and I feel like everything happens for a reason. And I looked at it a different way, and I was like, you know what, it could have just been not the right time. Like, it could have been that, you know, I could have passed away, or the babies would have made it and I wouldn't have, or I would have made it and they wouldn't have made it, you know. And also, I just wasn't in the best environment at that moment, like relationship wise and all that. I wasn't in the right moment to have a baby. It just wasn't a healthy situation. And literally, like I said, 3.5 to 4 months later, I was pregnant with a baby boy. And I literally, my whole pregnancy, I was so happy, but I was trying not to be too happy because I did miscarry. So 3 months in, I'm like, okay, yeah, I passed the 3-month mark, you know, but I was 3 months pregnant before. So I was like, oh, this is just not good enough. Once I became like 9 months, I was just like, okay, like, this is real. Like, I got a healthy baby, and this is gonna work. But Lexi, you still got labor to get through. When I was going into labor, like, I had my anxiety, a little bit of my heart rate went up, so I had to calm myself down because it wasn't good for the baby. But it all worked out perfectly fine. And, you know, after he was born, like, I've done everything, and you know, like, every day I treat it like if it was my last, only because I just don't know what's gonna happen with the society we have today. You never know when is the last day, you know. So that definitely also changed my view on myself. Like, Lexi, stop being hard on yourself. Just take a moment and accept the fact that you have a baby boy right in front of you. There's people that are out there that can't even have kids, you know, and it's really hard on them because that's something that they really want. I believe that it's also possible to get postpartum, even having an adopted baby, you know. Like I said before, no mother is ever ready to have a baby, but they will always find a way, you know. That's just my personal opinion. And that once I felt that opinion heavy, I was like, you know what, I'm doing really good. I'm trying, I'm doing everything. I've looked for jobs, I've tried jobs. It just wasn't for me at the moment. These moments up until he's 1 are very precious, you know. And I just don't want to miss any second of it. So my advice, again, to anyone that's out there that's dealing with postpartum, just know that you got this. And yeah, so I just really wanted to talk to you guys about that because I know that people may see me on Instagram or Snapchat, all smiles and giggles, but I'm gonna be honest, it's not all smiles and giggles all the time, you know. And it's not faking it, it's just, you know, sometimes people just post the happy moments. People are really good about covering up their emotions, You know, when I did go through postpartum, I didn't want to vent through nobody. Like, I kept it very hidden. And then one day I just had an outbreak. Like, I wasn't even trying to, but like my mom came in my room. She's like, "Are you crying?" And I'm like, "I just feel like I'm a failing mom. Like, I'm like the worst, you know?" Like, and I just had like a breakout. Like, and for those of you mothers that don't have the support, again, this video is for you. And I just wanted to give you a message and say that you can do it. You know, anything is possible, and that we were made to do this. Like, us women were made to have babies. And even if we weren't able to have babies, we're able to adopt. We're still able to take care of a baby, because that's the gift that God has given us, you know. So I'm just really happy that I'm not in postpartum anymore. I'm glad it wasn't as bad. Like, I know there's mothers out there, again, that just like walk away from their kids for a day or two and then come back. But me, like, I didn't want to hold my baby a lot. I didn't want nobody to hold my baby. I was kind of trying to be selfish. Like, and it's just, when you have some type of form of PTSD in your life that, you know, you've been through, you just always tell yourself that you do not want your baby to go through anything that you have been through. And that's something that I weighed heavy on myself. I know my son is still little, but anything can happen. And I just pray every single day that nothing happens to him. And if I can stop it, I will. If I'm doing everything I can to make sure it's not even a possibility, you know. But again, there's just things you just can't control. But I'm gonna try my hardest to control it. I just really, and that's something that really beat me down, because I do have a lot of PTSD in my past, and I told myself if I was to ever have a baby that I would do everything I can. Like, I would fight so hard for them to never, ever see, feel what PTSD is. You know, any form, mental, emotional, everything. Like, I just don't want anything to happen, you know. And that's not saying I want my baby to be perfect, because even if my baby doesn't have PTSD, that doesn't mean that your baby can feel sad. It doesn't mean that your baby can feel happy. I just want to give him the world, and I feel like any parent would feel that way. So shout out to all the mothers out there that are doing a good job. Shout out to all the mothers out there that do have postpartum. You will get through it. They will get better. You know, there's gonna be better days, so many better days. You just have to believe in it, and you gotta believe in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, you start to go kind of downhill. And that's what happened with me. I didn't believe in myself. I didn't believe I could do it, you know? So believe in yourself, have the confidence, love every second you have with them, and just live your life. Make memories, you know, because tomorrow is never promised. So thank you guys for watching. This was a very hard video for me to talk about, only because I didn't want to cry in front of you guys. But yeah, if you guys have any questions about postpartum, or if you're going through postpartum, feel free to direct message me on Instagram. I will put my Instagram below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And again, thank you for watching.